Welcome to the Nevis Newscast for Tuesday, August 29th, 2023. I am Fredicia Liebert.
Let me start on a sad note this morning to extend deepest condolences to the family of our former matron, Seneca Diaz. Mrs. Diaz had worked as a nurse and rose to the level of matron at the Alexandra Hospital and had given tremendous service to the administration and to health services here on the island of Nevis. She regrettably passed on, and that note struck us all in a very, very serious way. She was someone who was always loved, as I said to someone in remembering her, that I have never seen her upset. I have never seen her unprofessional. She, even in the most trying of circumstances, was always the consummate professional. And so I would want to extend my deepest condolences to her entire family, the whole clan there in Cox, but certainly to all who would have known and loved our matron, Seneca Diaz, who has passed on. And so please accept our condolences to the family.
Premier of Nevis, the Honorable Mark Brantley, registering his condolences at his monthly press conference hosted on Tuesday, August 29th. Premier Brantley also expressed condolences to the family of Brian Buju Barrett.
We were also very shocked to learn of the passing of Mr. Brian Barrett, also known by all of us as Buju. And Buju was, of course, quite a famous chef here on the island of Nevis. He had Buju's Snacket in Charlestown, which has fed all of us. And Buju was someone who was quite infectious in terms of his smile, his personality, and we were all very, very surprised to wake to learn that we had lost him. He was certainly an asset to the Ministry of Tourism. In fact, the culinary fraternity here in Nevis and the wider general public, we all mourn his loss. He was a highly respected restaurateur and grill master. My notes are telling me that he was known as Brian Buju Barrett, he was known as Brian Buju Powell, but I think all of us knew him as Buju. He was a proprietor, as I said, of Buju's Place in the heart of Charlestown, and they've been serving authentic Nevisian cuisine of a consistently high quality for many years. He endeared everyone with his smile, his warmth, his personality. And he was always confident of his culinary skills. He was a regular participant in the Nevis Mango Festival and the Sing It's in Nevis Restaurant Week. And so we, as a government, generally, but more specifically the Ministry of Tourism, would like to pay tribute to him and to say thanks for his tremendous contribution over the years and to extend our deep condolences to his family that are left to mourn him.
Premier of Nevis, the Honorable Mark Brantley. 4 public schools on the island will now be under new leadership. This was announced at the 2023 Back to School Convocation held for teachers and non-instructional staff at the Malcolm Gishad Recreational Park on Monday, August 28, 2023. During his monthly press conference, Premier of Nevis, the Honorable Mark Brantley, congratulated the 4 young ladies.
Mrs. Jerose Walters, she will now head the St. Thomas's Primary School. Miss Chrislyn Jeffers will now head the Violet O. Jeffers Nichols Primary School. And Miss Catherine Seabrooks will now head the St. James's Primary School. And Mrs. Nicola Huggins Paris will now head the Charlestown Secondary School. I want to personally congratulate these 4 young women. All are below the age of 40 and all are women. And it really says something about the island and what we're trying to do in empowering women, in elevating women, but also in empowering youth and elevating youth. All are qualified, all have worked for long years in teaching, and we are delighted that they have taken up the challenge.
Premier Brantley is also encouraging others in the teaching profession to prepare themselves for leadership.
Every year, the Ministry of Education will ask of teachers whether they intend to return and whether they are interested in leadership. And I have been quite astonished that a large number of them, duly qualified, have said that they're not interested in leadership. And that has created tremendous challenges for us in staffing our schools and ensuring that we have the right people in the right places. In fact, I'm aware that some individuals who are approached on this go-around, this time, have indicated that they are not interested. And so I'm appealing from this rostrum because we are only as good as the people. And it makes no sense for me for our people to go and prepare themselves, do their degrees, in some instances do their master's degrees, and then when called upon to lead, they say they're not interested in the responsibility. We really do need to do more and be willing to give more as we try to develop the island and the country. And so again, heartiest congratulations to Mrs. Jerose Walters, Miss Christlyn Jeffers, Miss Catherine Seabrooks, and Mrs. Nicola Huggins Paris, and I wish them only the best as they undertake this new role.
The 2023 school term for preschoolers begin on Monday, September 4th, while primary and secondary school students return to school on Wednesday, September 6th, 2023. At the 2023 Back to School Convocation hosted on Monday, August 28th, Principal Education Officer Zanella Claxton, in delivering her remarks, announced some of the education professionals who have exited the system over the past school year and thanked them for their service to the island.
Mr. Kendall Foy, Miss Gail Mills, Mrs. Tyra Richardson, Miss Felicia Walters, Miss Aisha Bryce, Miss Michelle Dorr, Miss Jawati Tilakdari, Miss Shirley Wilkes, Miss Carrie-Ann Lindsay, Miss Dijonay Hanley, Miss Chelsea Burke, Miss Enika Martin, Mr. Sensio Williams, Mr. Kylan Broadbelt, Miss Vanshia Powell. To those who have retired, we also pay homage to you, acknowledging your sterling contribution and extending our heartfelt appreciation to you. This year, we said goodbye in an official capacity to education officers Mrs. Avril Elliott and Mr. Shefton Liebert. We also will be saying goodbye officially at the end of this month to our principals, Mrs. Jasmine Dorr and Miss Norleen Smithen. Also exiting the system were Mrs. Julie Smithen, Miss Odette Weeks, Mrs. Althea Liebert, Mr. Frank Nisbet, Mr. Stephen Liebert, Miss Samelita Jeffers, Miss Reagan Daniel, Miss Merthin Elliott, and Mr. Lincoln Barry.
PEO Claxton also congratulated the teachers who will be pursuing studies at the Clarence Fitzroy Bryant College in St. Kitts. She also made mention of Raquel Burke, who is one of the recipients of the MUA-NIA scholarship. Also speaking at the morning's ceremony was Minister of Education, the Honorable Troy Liebert. He pledged the continued support of the Ministry and Department of Education to the education system.
Teaching is one of those rare professions that affords you the opportunity to start with a clean slate the beginning of each school year. You will expect great things from your students, and I will be expecting great things from you. I am aware that the circle is not complete with that statement, as you in turn will expect that I and the ministry would be able to deliver for you. While we are not able to deliver everything at all times, you have the commitment of the ministry and you have my commitment that we will work with you as much as possible. And I would hope that we have the same commitment from all of you to do your very best. At the end of the day, our work is to empower the next generation through education, as those who came before us did their best to empower us.
The Back to School Convocation took place at the Malcolm Guichard Recreational Park. The Caribbean Examinations Council, CXC, is pleased to provide the amended and revised Caribbean Secondary Education Certificate, CSEC, and Caribbean Advanced Proficiency Examinations, CAPE, syllabuses for selected subjects for which teaching starts in September 2023. Teachers and students preparing for examinations in these subject areas should become familiar with the syllabus for the new school term. Institutions offering these subjects should make note of the effective dates of the first examinations and be guided accordingly. Revised subjects for CAPE include accounting, animation and game design, entrepreneurship, financial services studies, integrated mathematics, literatures in English, management of business, and for CSEC, social studies. The amended subjects include CAPE physical education and sports, as well as CSEC Caribbean history and office administration. The syllabus is available for download from the CXC website www.cxc.org. Deputy Premier of Nevis, the Honorable Eric Evelyn, has called on local businesses to play a more prominent role in the development of Nevis. Speaking at the closing ceremony of Llewellyn's Manufacturing Company's Cook-Up program, which sought to engage disabled women in the culinary arts, Honorable Evelyn thanked the facilitators for their contribution to Nevisian society and encouraged other business owners to draw inspiration from this initiative.
I cannot commend Llewellyn and Violet enough for this initiative. As a small business, for you to take a whole week out of your own business to do this for these young ladies. And I admire your just the way you have done it. I'm sure you must have had a lot of confidence in the young ladies. Of course, you must have had a lot of patience, and we commend you highly for that. It's a very noble initiative. And I love when people work with underprivileged persons. I love it. And you're going to be getting your blessings from the Almighty for that. So, commendation. I can't commend you enough. And as I said on Monday, I really hope more small businesses will take a page out of your book and give back. Because we should not all be about getting, but about giving back.
Honorable Evelyn encouraged the 5 young ladies to continue engaging in activities that would help them grow into courageous, independent individuals.
I'm sure from when we were here on Monday, we were told that this program is aimed at building their confidence, their independence, life skills in cooking. And from what we have heard here this morning, and from just seeing how beaming they are, it is quite obvious that the objectives were met. I can see young ladies who are more confident in themselves. I am seeing them looking more independent. They are all smiling. I mean, I'm sure that they are all chefs in their own right. And I believe this is only the stepping stone for the 5 of you. Go out there, be confident in yourself, and do what you have to do. Let no one stop you. You realize from this program, this initiative, that you can do things on your own. And so make sure you build on that. Family members, continue to support them. And all of us as members of the community, let us always rally around these young ladies and support them. Once again, congratulations and God bless you.
Deputy Premier and Area Representative for the St. George's Parish, Honorable Eric Evelyn. That's it for this edition of the Nevis Newscast. On behalf of all of us here at the Department of Information, I'm Fredicia Liburd. Thank you for viewing.